Hello, Bega friends, and happy Halloween. Boo! Did I get you? All right. Today, we're going to talk about posture. Oop, wait. Posture. Yeah, I had to fix that. I forgot about the reverse effect on the video. Anyway, I could hardly sleep last night because this is a subject that is so near and dear to my heart. Just couldn't wait to talk about it. All right. Now, posture, everybody knows posture is being upright. It applies standing and it applies sitting. And there's a lot of reasons that it's important. And I don't remember really learning too much about it in school, oh so many years ago, but maybe I just forgot that. But over the years, this has really kind of risen to the top of something that I think is important and something that we forget about in therapy. We work on a whole lot of things, but I think the trunk in posture is something that we kind of slide. And I'll tell you some of the reasons that it's really important. One of them is back pain. Uh, you might know that there's a spinal cord, the vertebrae, and the spinal cord runs right up between it. Okay? So poor posture causes those bones to press on the nerves, which causes pain. To be upright like this lets that spinal cord be free in that little tunnel there. Now I have to give credit to learning that, which I kind of knew it, but really learning it to my friend Jason when I myself had a back injury. I remember going to work and he was my therapist. He took care of me when I hurt my back. And I'd be going, Jason, my back hurts so bad. When's it going to feel better? And he goes, girl, when you stop sitting like that. I had another fella too named John, and he'd walk around the building like this all the time. And I said, John, jack it up, straighten up. Maybe that'll make you feel better. And then every time I saw him, I nag. And then after a while, he comes in the clinic and says, my back really does feel better. So unless you have something else going on in there, sometimes people have had a surgery or have a rod, or if it causes you great pain, obviously take all this with a grain of salt. But for the most part, posture, standing upright, getting those shoulders back, tucking it in like this, see, will make your back feel better. Another thing, too, that it helps with is core strength. These muscles in here. Out in the world, you hear a lot about core strength. Everybody's going to Pilates and yoga to work on your core strength. Well, that's true. Core strength, having these muscles working, are how you can stand up and walk, how you can sit in your chair. If you go into a nursing home, you'll see tons of people sitting in their chairs like this. They're just sliding out. We get referrals all the time for people who are on the edge of their seat about to fall out of their wheelchair, and this right here is why. Almost all day long, those folks are sitting either with their back on the chair or they're laying in the bed. They don't use these muscles. So to use these muscles, get their posture up, whether sitting or standing, is vital to keep these muscles strong. Another reason for good posture is breathing. When you're all scrunched over, see, my poor lungs are all squished down in there. When you jack it up and you stand straight, now you can take a deep breath. For us out here running around, a little bit of this doesn't make a big impact. But when you get older and it's hard to take a breath, or maybe you have some COPD or some of that stuff going on, it is super important. Another thing that poor posture leads to over time is difficulty swallowing. It takes a while to get to this point, but it's a very sad thing when it does. When your head's like this, see, first of all, look at your swallow mechanism in there. It's all compressed. You got a bend in it. How are you going to get your food down? The other thing is the mechanics of it. When your head's down like this, how are you going to get that into your pie hole there to eat or drink your nutrition? You can't. So it's very important to get it up for that. And it's a very sad thing for me to walk down the halls and see all these people like this. Because now I've learned that the great majority of that is habit. It's just habit. You can fix that. If you start in the beginning, you can just get in the habit of keeping it up, keep those muscles strong, improve your breathing. I meet people, maybe they're just coming to rehab for the first time and they're just starting to go like this. And I'll go, you know, you better fix that. You can still save the day on this one. Or, and then I tell them all the horrible things that could happen to them, and they're like, dang, if I'd have known that. So it's very important. I would also say, even all of us out here living in the community, being younger, keep an eye on that. I tell a story, if you're looking at a dark-haired lady from behind, you can tell how old she is just by the way she walks. The young girl, let's see if I can do it. All right, she's walking like this. Yeah, I'm young, my life is good. All right, then when you start going through life, you know, hard things happen to you. You get a few aches and pains. You start going like this. So by the time you get down there, and all through the process, you can tell. You can tell just by how a person's walking, how old they are. So all of you beware and pay attention. When you start feeling some of this, just go, uh-oh, she nagged me, and then jack it back up, get straight. And this is such a big thing for me, and I nag about it so much that when I work at a place for a long time and I get to be a regular, you will see when I walk down the hall, this face right here becomes a cue to pick it up. They'll all be just sitting there in the hall doing their thing, and when I walk by, they're like, uh-oh. And then it'll be just like, you know, the Red Sea, boom, 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 all up, and they're all coming up. And it's a good thing. All right, another thing about posture that's really important is it affects the way you view yourself. All right? If you're like this, what does that say? What does that say to the outside world? Oh, a beaten man. You know, life has been hard. They don't feel good. They're old. Up like this, hey, life is for living. I got it going on. I got this. I feel good about myself. And sometimes when you go through life, life is rough. I understand this. I get it. But sometimes when you just kind of make a habit of picking it up, it makes you feel better too. It projects to the outside world. I got this, I'm good, and that makes you feel better too. And that's so important because so much of all of this is just attitude and how we feel about ourselves, and that's a simple thing that we can do to project. And when you project something, you get that same thing back. Just make life better. All right. So there's a couple other little points I want to make about posture is recliners. Okay, recliners are detrimental to posture. They're wonderful, they're comfortable, you can sit in there and have your little camp and you can watch your TV shows, but I'll go do an eval and I'll say, let me guess, you sleep in your recliner, don't you? And they'll say, oh, how did you know that? Well, because you look like a recliner. Your body is shaped like a recliner. So a lot of people sleep in their recliners because it's hard to get out of their bed, or they want to be upright for breathing, or any myriad of numbers. They can't get their legs in the bed, and that's fine. But you really got to watch that. Another thing you got to watch about recliners and sleeping, and this is a little off topic, but as long as we're talking about them, is you got to watch your bottom. There's no rolling in a recliner, and you slide down here. So you have to watch out for skin breakdown and sores on your dupa and right on your coccyx there at the top of your crack. Okay, that's just an aside. All right, so be careful with your recliner. They contribute to bad posture, which is bad for all these other things that I just talked about. All right. Another thing, and this is something that caregivers do more than the people themselves, although they do it too. All right, let's say you're already kind of like this, all right, and you're taking care of somebody and you love that person and you're helping them get ready for bed, and then they go get in the bed. Well, they're laying there like this. So what does your instinct say? It says, take the pillow and right here and stick it right there because that's how they are already. Well, that's sweet and kind and loving, but it's not helping them, it's hurting them, because what you're doing is you're feeding the deformity. What you want to do is break that up, okay? If you don't want to enhance this, you want to break that up. So you put the pillow behind the shoulder blades and let gravity help you out. If you look at it this way, when your posture starts going, gravity's shoving you down right here. Get down, get down, get down. So it's pushing on you. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to get gravity on your side. All right? So when you get into bed or whatever, you want to push it this way. All right? I've gone through all kinds of things to try and do that. Get the gravity up. I've had people back in the day when maintenance would do these things, put my patients' TVs up on the wall to get them going, looking up. So just something to remember. Think about where the gravity's hitting. You want it to hit the opposite, so you can at least have a even battle going on. All right. For therapists, something that can really help with this is, first of all, just join the nagging team about getting upright. Also, when you bring them down there and they're doing all their exercises, get them out of the wheelchair and have them do it on the mat, so they're working all these muscles and getting it up. Okay, so they can do those exercises. They get twice as much benefit when they have their trunk open as they do just sitting in a wheelchair like this. Okay, or have them do their arm exercises standing, even better. We got to keep these muscles strong, posture up. All right, I think that's my story on posture. So walk proud and keep that nugget up. Thank you for listening.